Okay, hi everybody. This is Susie, and I am talking about my experiences when I was in my early 60s, dating and just having a blast with a meetup group called Celebrate Atlanta. So, the first time I went, I told you about in my couple of previous episodes um, mentioned. And I'm going to start out now when I was living in the crummy apartments. Okay, the really nasty, crummy apartment. That's when I started going to the Celebrate Atlanta group. Um, it was right after my 60th birthday. I had to move out from my nice little ranch house, um, and I was unemployed. Then I got a new job. Anyway, I told all that. Here I am now telling you about having some fun. Okay, and as you heard, if you've been following, I really had not had much fun in a long time. I had a boyfriend for 7 years, but we didn't get out much. He was a homebody, and finances were limited, so we rarely went out. Um, and he didn't enjoy liking a lot of the things that I wanted to do, so it didn't happen. So a girlfriend from church invited me. First, I went to a church singles group and met her, and she invited me to this group called Celebrate Atlanta. Okay, so one of the first things that I went to was in that place called Craze. It was a restaurant bar kind of place. They had a back room where they played poker, and um, anyway, they would have a band, a good band. Fly Betty was there a lot, and a few different bands. Anyway, one time I went there, one of the first meetups I went to by myself, maybe the very first one. I think it was the first one, and I didn't live far, which was great. And I went in, got my name tag, and everybody is friendly. Everybody starts talking to me right away. And the one guy I kind of connected with right away, um, his name, I call him Joey. And he was from New York originally. I heard that accent right away. So we connected off of that, me being a Jersey girl originally, and got to be friends with him. So we talked on the phone, and he soon after that, it was actually my first date in the Celebrate group, right? A real date, because he had tickets to a concert at Chastain Park, which is one of the best venues in Atlanta, right? And it was Kansas and Toto, and he had tickets, so he invited me, and it was awesome. And other people from the group were sitting around us, and everybody was real nice and friendly and great concert and all. Anyway, I kind of crushed on him a little bit. I thought he was cute, and he was so um, nice, and he was fun. So, and he was so different from anybody I ever, dated or crushed on before. He was so different, and different appeals to me lots of times. Anyway, we got friendly and didn't really date. I think that was probably the one and only real date we had. Um, but we did hang out. We went places and hung out, and he would have parties at his house and stuff. But what I want to tell you was, so I'm at this crummy apartment, and I was moving in to be roommates with several people in this great big beautiful house in Windward in Alpharetta, right? So I was in that apartment for a year and a half, and I was there with my son. My son got a job and got his own place, and then I wanted to get my deposit back, of course. So I'm, have a deadline to get out of there, and I'm scrambling, which is me. That's me. I'm always at the last minute scrambling to get things done. I'm real bad about deadlines. But I'm the type of person, if I don't have a deadline, it might never get done. But I'm always last minute. So here I was scrambling at the last minute. If I didn't have things out by 5 o'clock, I was going to lose my deposit, and I really needed that. So uh, I thought I could do it myself. It was just a matter of throwing the last things out into the trash or into my car. I had an SUV, a little Isuzu Rodeo is what I had at the time. Anyway, by the way, bad car. They're all off the road now. My transmission went out at 80,000 miles. Um, but anyway, so it was like 4 o'clock or something. And anyway, I was scrambling around, trying to finish cleaning the kitchen and throwing stuff in my car and everything that had to be done. And I called him because he was pretty much, one of my, uh, you know, new friend, and he was single, and he was a man that could help, you know, um, maybe better than some women could. So anyway, I called him and I told him my situation. I mean, I was almost in tears. I was like, Joey, I have like 90 minutes. I had to be out of here, and I don't think I'm going to make it. And he didn't live that far. That's another reason I called him. And he said, I'll be right there. And that guy came over. What a blessing. I mean, he was my minute man. He was my angel. He just came around. He came in there, ran around like the Energizer bunny, ran around my apartment, grabbing stuff, throwing things in the car, throwing things in the trash. You know, he did more in 30 minutes than I could have done in 90. And such a blessing. So, and he had his car too. So, we were able to just throw things in the cars and quickly, and um, got it all done just in the nick of time. I mean, I got my key back to the office right as they were closing, and thank God. So we then, actually, it was when around the time he came over, I guess. Anyway, it was raining. I think it was raining the whole time, and it just got worse, where it was pouring really, really, really bad, pouring like crazy. He and I were both totally drenched, just soaking, dripping wet, running back and forth from the house to the car and all. And then we get to my new place, and same thing, back and forth, dripping wet, and but we were laughing about it. We were laughing about it because what else could we do? And I was just so thankful. And man, that just made me fall in love with him. I mean, I thought, what a guy, what a guy. So my crush on him just got bigger. Anyway, we nothing ever happened between us. We stayed friends. I still consider him my friend today. And on Facebook we don't talk much or anything, but he'll always be my friend. But that's the kind of people, that I was starting to meet in Celebrate Atlanta. And that was just the beginning of it. So one of the things I want to say about him was, shoot, now I forgot what it was. There was one thing I especially wanted to mention about him. It's all good. Can't remember now. But anyhow, uh, then there was another guy. Okay, nothing ever happened between us. I mean, like nothing really. We just were only friends. And after a while, I'm going to all these things with, meeting all these guys and having so much fun. So, he just became another one of them. Um, and he was friendly with a lot of girls. And I'm going to proceed to tell you how this group worked. Okay. Um, I've never seen or heard of anything like it before. And Celebrate Atlanta is, I think it's the largest meetup group, meetup.com. I think it's the largest meetup group in the whole country. When I first went to it, it was about 4,000 people, and that would have been around 2012. And now I just looked it up. It's like short-term memory. I'm thinking like 18,000 it said or something crazy like that, you know. But like I said before, um, everybody, isn't active and everybody doesn't go to every event, of course. You know, most of the events were like under 100 people, and a lot of them might have only been 30 or something, most of them were more than that, but some were small and some were really big. Uh, and different people come at different times, but I was definitely one of the regulars because I was there every weekend. I didn't usually go, I mean, they had events going on every day of the week, and I might go sometimes to a dinner or happy hour during the week. On the weekend, a dance, um, always either Friday or Saturday, and then maybe I would do like a hike or a picnic thing or a concert, um, also on the weekend besides the dance. So I was very active, and um, Dave, who was the founder and still is head of the group, um, he very friendly guy. I know he tries to meet everybody and gets to friendly with everybody. Not overly friendly, he's not in your business and all that. He's just a friendly, nice guy doing a great thing. I mean, I consider it like a ministry, really. He's not talking about God. In fact, he's Jewish, but I consider it a type of ministry because he has done so much good for so many lonely people that would be sitting home on the weekends if it wasn't for him and his group, and I would have been one of them. He opened up a whole new world for many, many people, and I know that God's blessing him for that. So, another guy I want to tell you about, this is hard to believe maybe, but I've made a whole big long list of men that I want to tell you about because I met so many awesome ones there, but, I mean, I'm still single, right? Nothing happened. Nothing great happened. But at that time, for those, that time period in my life, it couldn't have been better unless I would have really hooked up with one of them, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to tell you about a bunch of guys that I became friends with, some I dated, and every one of them was special to me. That's why I'm going to talk about them, because there were many, many more that I won't even mention. Honest truth, I've been away for 4 years since I moved from Atlanta, and still friends with a few of them on Facebook, but there's only very few that have bothered to keep in touch with me since I moved. So, the rest of them, I don't, consider real friends. If you never talk to me even on Facebook, you're just out there, you can't even give, make a remark to me once in a while, you're not really my friend. I might still have you out there because of the past, but eventually you will be deleted. Not that it matters, right? There's nothing going on anyway. But I mean, honest truth, 4 years later, a couple of them, I can't even remember their names. I remember, you know, being hanging out with them, dancing with them. Maybe we had a couple dates, but I can't even remember their names. So, most of them aren't even on my Facebook, or I would maybe remember their names. Anyhow, I'm going to tell you about my top list here. Okay, second guy I'm going to tell you about today. Um, I don't think he would appreciate me using his name, so I'm going to call him George. Okay, we were at that place, Craze, one night, and I had noticed this guy because he danced all the time, every dance, And what I noticed about the dancing was that there was a lot of couples dancing going on. Uh, and I mentioned before that most of the people in the group were single, very few married, and the ones that were married mostly met in the group and they just stayed in the group, because they liked the kind of things we did. But most of the people were single and most of the people were in their 50s and 60s. So I was in my early 60s, and I felt like I fit in pretty good in the beginning then. By the time I left, I felt like I was on the outer edge of the old people, you know, 5 years later. But in the beginning, I felt like I fit in pretty good. And so so what happened was I kind of had an eye on this one guy just because I enjoyed watching him dance. He danced like every dance, and I could tell he wasn't really with anybody because he danced with different girls. He was not one of those that danced. He didn't do the swing dancing. Like I noticed half the people there were doing swing dancing, which I had never seen before. I didn't know anything about it. I really did, but I thought it looked kind of cool, but I wasn't really interested because I didn't know the steps or anything. I just like to freestyle, just do what you feel. And so this one guy was doing that. He was doing his own thing, but I got a kick out of him. I enjoyed watching him dance. He had some cool moves and he was really into it. And not bad looking, he was a pretty good looking guy. Uh, so I had my eye on him a little bit, and then one day my friend Rose, who is the lady who introduced me to this group, right? And she came up to me and she says, I want to introduce you to somebody. I think you might like him. And it was that guy that I had been eyeing on the dance floor. And I'm calling him George. So she introduced me to him, and she had said the same thing to him. I want to introduce you. I think you might like this girl. And anyway, so she introduced us, and we just danced together one dance. And at the end of the dance, he said to me, he said, "You're not my type." He said, "But we could be friends." And I said, "Great, we'll be friends. We can dance and be friends." He said, "Yeah." And we just kept on dancing, right? And we became friends. We became very close friends. Um, Never dated, I mean, not what you would call a date. We went out together many, many times. Um, we hung out together a lot. We talked a lot. We had some really, really, really good, deep conversations. He was or I should say is, I mean, he's still alive. He uh, is very spiritual, a truly uh, good Christian man that was really walking the walk as best as he knew. As best as he knew. I don't think his background was as extensive as mine. Um, I'm not sure. I don't remember what he told me about, um, how he, got born again and all that stuff. But I know that he was very much into his church, and he had left North Point Church and was going to a different church called the Influencers, which I do not like that name, but it was more of a Pentecostal type church. And I went there with him a few times because he invited me. It was very different. And I have a few stories to tell about that, but not yet. Anyway, he became a good friend of mine. Um, and I'll talk more about George coming up. Okay, let's see. And he also lived, it was really good because he lived close by. So, Atlanta is a very spread out area, and uh, it's nice to have friends close by if you could ride together because traffic really is really bad there, and everything's far away. It's like everything's spread out and all. So it's nice to have friends that live close by that you could carpool with when you go to these things. And George was my guy. We used to drive together a lot. And okay, tell you about another one here. Okay, um, time's getting short. Uh, Maybe that's all for now. I have so many to tell you about. Oh my goodness. Um, okay, I'm gonna just mention. No, I won't. I think I'm gonna leave it there. 20 minutes, long enough. More interesting stuff to tell you. Okay, thanks for watching. God bless.